Okay, the delta continuous POC signal. Now this uses a continuous POC as a possible, emphasis possible, trend continuation signal. It's not, you're not always going to find it as a continuation here, as we'll look at in a second, but that under the ideal circumstance, which we have a perfect example here of an uptrend here. So let's focus on the uptrend. So we get a red candle, red bar, followed by a green bar, which has the exact same point of control. Right, and then followed by a green bar with positive delta. I mean, again, this is a textbook example that creates a value area gap. So we see the value area, right? So we get a gap here. So it's a very strong signal in this circumstance here. Looks like that would have been the high of the day as well. So this is the pause, the attempt to go lower, value is established, and then we launch the other way. Now, let's go to a chart, and you'll see, okay, so here I put a stripe on all of the continuous POC signals, and you'll note here they're not always continuation. All right, here's a perfect example. Here's one where, okay, we're kind of approaching a low. Again, here again at the high, not always continuation, but it's, again, it's a signal to pay attention. So something's happening in the market. Let's look here. This is a pretty good example here. If I zoom in. Now, we don't always get it exactly as described here. Here it takes a couple of bars to produce it. Here's the continuous POCs, but we don't have the immediate red candle, right before it. Here's the red candle. Then we get this this very shallow short bar here, and then here I get the POCs, and then I get the continuation with the value area gap as you see it. But it takes a couple of bars to establish it. Oh, here this is decent because I've got both an uptrend and downtrend. So here we get the green bar, right? Positive here. Then I get continuous POC here, and then I get the drop. So the thought would have been, okay, continuation lower, while we get probably a point and a half lower before we start to head back the other way, and then we get a POC, a continuous POC on this side. So you'll note here that, I mean, this whole section is really, this is just rotation. The market is, there's value here. There's no one's the aggressor until we get the continuous POC signal. Again, not necessarily I see it and I just jump in at the market, but it's, again, these are often, so many of these are, okay, pay attention. So something has changed or shifted. This is draw your attention to the event here. Do we have, are we in the appropriate location, right? If we put the whole thing together, does this look like we're in a location where we might get some continuation? Then you'd kind of put that together with your market structure or your support and resistance or whatever it is that you're using. And I reemphasize that the footprint chart is where we want to go in when we see something specific and then look for that additional insight that we get inside the candle. But it's not, you got to be careful about getting lost in just the rotation here and trying to make a decision without the context. All right, so there you go. Continuous POC. It's a common one. It's one to look for.